their priority levels. So let's say with our task scheduler. So our task scheduler has all these different types of, I guess, priorities when it comes to what task is being executed first and which ones are executed last. So the ones that are executed in purple, these are
Jets grounded. Enemy removed. You fought. Jets grounded. Opponent killed. Eliminate.
Who's getting shit on by my fucking shorty?
What is, dude? I don't know where I had to crouch.
Oh yeah.
Bro, so good.
I can't crouch, bro. How do I change crouch?
You can't crouch with an Odin, bro.
What do you mean? You can.
You can?
Yeah,
You can. The fuck are you talking about?
Well, when you run,
can.
you can't crouch, bro.
I'm not trying to run. I'm trying to crouch.
Oh.
Who the fuck this nigga?
What the fuck?
1 minute remaining.
But the pair but the pair from Bender,
The what?
the pairs. Did you get that from Bender?
The player?
The pair, the big ass pair.
Oh yeah, I got that from Bender.
Jet grounded.
You asshole.
I'm so crappy. Oh my goodness. Hold up. I'm feeling it.
I hand
Oh
that.
my god. Oh my god. Oh my god.
10 seconds left.
He need one more kill to tie.
No!
No.
Alright, can you hurry up and go eat?
I need to wait for my mom to shower.
You asshole. Run! I could have played it! I could have played a TFT!
I'm gonna go back to the bathroom though.
Oh.
Events that we can actually use with our
There
own
we
tasks.
go. Fix that.
So much.
We're just inviting me to the party. Oh, my fault. My MacBook. Song, there we go. Yeah.
I guess we got away. Can y'all ping me when y'all are ready? Oi!
With this hierarchy that's happening here. So the one at the very top, this is basically what's being executed first.
Carl, what is the... What is it called? What is it called now? Toy,
What's up?
do you know about the Bermuda Triangle?
Yeah, what about it?
You know I've been there before.
Cap. Isn't it supposed to be dangerous and scary?
It's called the Demon's Triangle.
first. So we have the user input,
The
and then
devil's
we go down through this list. So with things like rendering, wait states, garbage collection, physics simulation, and then heartbeat. So obviously we know what user input is. It's basically how we detect input coming from the player. So if I'm moving my character, it's detecting the keys on my player. And then it goes on to this rendering stage that basically shows that, you know, this is tasks that, these are tasks that are being run before the frame is even shown into the 3D world. And then we have other things like wait states. So these are the task functions that we've worked with in the past. And then we have things like physics simulation. So basically any work that's being done in the 3D workspace with physics and all that. And then heartbeat, which is its own separate thing that we can actually work with in this hierarchy. So these are things I want you to understand. So with this hierarchy, this is all within the task scheduler hierarchy. And this task scheduler is basically thrown into each and every single frame that's being recorded. So with this understanding of the frame by frame loop and also this task scheduler hierarchy, we're able to get a really good understanding of how tasks are being executed within Roblox and how we can incorporate our own custom tasks within this hierarchy. And that is essentially how this structure works with Run Service. I hope this makes sense to you, because with this understanding, now we're going to be incorporating our own customized tasks in this hierarchy with this frame by frame loop structure. So with that being said, let's go ahead and go straight into implementing our own tasks within this hierarchy that we have going on over here. Now that we understand it, let's incorporate run service inside of Roblox Studio. So I hope my analogy made sense to you when it comes to the frame-by-frame loop structure and also the way the task scheduler hierarchy goes when it comes to what tasks are done first versus which ones are done last. So the way this is going to work is we're going to create our own custom tasks and execute them using these events that are colored in purple. So we're going to start at the very bottom, which is going to be the slowest, but also the most commonly used one called heartbeat. Then we're going to step up to stepped, and then finally render stepped all the way up here. So the thing that's in common with all three of these events is that they execute tasks very, very quickly, and it's based on the user's performance based on the frames per second loop structure that we had going on up here. So heartbeat is the slowest one, but it's also the most commonly used one, so that's what I'm going to show you right now. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to go to model, and we're going to insert a part. Essentially what we're going to do is move this part along the x-axis to constantly move in the negative direction over here so that we can see it happen in real time once we actually run the script. So we're just going to select this. We're going to rename this to heartbeat part. And then we're going to insert a script inside of server script service. So we're going to hit the plus sign, insert a script like this. We're first going to make reference to the heartbeat part. We're going to say local heartbeat part equals workspace wait for child heartbeat part. And more importantly, we have to make sure that we actually have the run service declared. So we're going to say local run service equals game:get service, open close parentheses, run service, just like this. Okay,
Hey guys,
so
do you guys want to do a
here's how we
karaoke
run
night?
our heartbeat event.
No.
We're just simply going to say
I'll
run
sing my song
service
and you sing
dot
yours.
I want to do
heartbeat
a night where we watch
colon,
every
connect
Insidious,
function,
The
open close
Conjuring,
parentheses.
and
There
the
is
Bell.
one parameter here. It's called delta time.
Start
I'm going to
from
go
to
over
end.
what this is in just a little bit.
So that's
Every
6 a.m. and that's 6 a.m.
Are you already done eating, Wolf?
Hell no.
Are you not eating, bruh? You're eating.
Wait, what?
I thought you said you went to go eat.
Not yet. Soon.
What are you waiting for?
My mother to shower
Why are you waiting for your mom to shower?
so we can eat together.
What the hell? So the mom require you to eat the food together?
She wants to eat with us.
Ah.
Get it?
But
Get it?
this is the
Okay,
basic
yeah,
structure
yeah,
of
yeah.
how we
I'll play you a
have
song.
our
I'm gonna play
heartbeat
you a
event.
song
Because this is how we
called
connect an event, just
The
like this. So
Town I
we
Love
pretty much
So
know it.
Well.
And so next what we're going to do is say that every single time that this is running, we're going to change the position of the heartbeat part. So heartbeat part dot position equals heartbeat part dot position plus vector3 dot new open and close parentheses. We're going to put in a -1 comma 0 comma 0 because -1 on the x-axis will allow this part to go in this direction like this. So if we now go into the game, hit test and hit run, then what we should see with the part is that it's going to move one stud in that direction very, very quickly. Now, once again, heartbeat is running every single frame. So like I mentioned here before, so every single time a frame is being made, then it's going to move the part -1 in the x-axis, and it's going to do it again and again and again and again, and it's going to run very, very fast. Like if I were to visualize how fast this is, we can do it.
Frictionless, number sign, yeah. Because what if you don't first lost a force state in motion?
Print here just by saying heart beat like this, and then we go into the game, hit run. If we look at the output, we can see that it's literally firing like hundreds of times. Like this is how fast heartbeat runs. It's actually really insane how fast heartbeat does run. And keep in mind, this is at the very lowest tier of the task scheduler. So if we go up here, it's going to run even faster than the one down here, which is actually pretty insane. So, like I mentioned, the significance of heartbeat is that it's the slowest, but it's also the most commonly used one. And the reason we use heartbeat out of all these other ones is because this comes after physics simulation. So basically, like, if we have our player that's already running, that we already had our user input down for, then heartbeat is going to be everything that comes after this. So that's why we use this one out of all these other ones. Now, here's some tips I have for you when it comes out of all these other ones is because this comes after physics simulation. So basically, like, if we have our player that's already running, that we already had our user input down for, then heartbeat is going to be everything that comes after this. So that's why we use this one out of all these other ones. Now, here's some tips I have for you when it comes to using this. And
told me something about David and I searched it up and I saw David something killed a 50-year-old girl in the back of his car.
you know, why we should use it. So if we were to go back to our script, you might think, why don't we just use a while task.wait do like this, and then just copy everything that's in here inside of here. We could do this instead of using heartbeat, but once again, if you imagine where heartbeat is inside of this task scheduler hierarchy, heartbeat is all the way down here, but then we consider what's going to be all the way back here with wait states, with task.wait, task.spawn, delay. So you might ask, like, you know, why is there a difference? Like, why is there a significance when it comes to this? Let's imagine this in terms of how the script is handling what's happening here. If we were to use a task.wait for this while true do statement, we are literally pausing execution of the script before we go in and try to execute whatever is going on down here. And this is a fixed length, keep in mind as well. So task.wait with nothing in here could be like 0.00001. This is going to be a fixed number throughout the entirety of the game's duration. But if, let's say, one of the players had bad performance issues with their device, where the frames for them run slower than if we had in comparison to a gaming PC that can run really fast. This can run really fast versus somebody who can run very slow with like their iPhone 4 or something. All of these frames really depend on the performance, and that's why run service matters so much when it comes to when tasks are being executed, because it's primarily based on the user's performance of the device that they're playing on. So that's why instead of this fixed length, if we were to, let's say, be playing on a mobile phone, then it would drop down to this versus what it would be like if we were playing on a gaming PC like this. It really depends on what device the player is playing on. So that is a really big difference when it comes to heartbeat over using like a task.wait while loop like this. So here's another tip I have for you. I wouldn't encourage you to use heartbeat or any of these other run events throughout the entire duration of the game. I think it's better for you to wrap this in a temporary connection and then disconnect it whenever you don't need to have it anymore. So here's an example. If I were to wrap this connection inside of a local variable by saying local connection equals run service heartbeat connect function. So as soon as we run the script, we're going to have a variable be set equal to this connection right here, and it's automatically going to fire. So then if we were to, let's say, have a task.wait for about 5 seconds over here, then we're literally going to disconnect this connection so that we can stop heartbeat from continuing after we don't need it for a while. So we're just simply going to say connection : disconnect like this. Like, it literally disconnects the connection that we've created over here by placing this inside of a variable. So what happens now is if we hit run and then we see this change happen with the part moving so fast in that direction, for about 5 seconds, it's literally just going to stop right there because we waited 5 seconds. The connection for heartbeat literally stopped after we decided to hit the disconnect on that connection. So this is very effective if you want to temporarily have events be connected, and you can disable them if you don't want that connection continuing anymore after that. So that's another tip I have for you, and I hope you find this to be useful. Okay, but now going back into our heartbeat function, there is this parameter called delta time, and you might ask, what is this thing being passed into the function? Delta time basically tells us how much time has elapsed from the current time versus the time that it took to start the last frame. So if we were to go back into our script, so basically, whenever this frame fires, it's going to detect how much time has passed from when this frame started versus when this frame started. And so this basically gives us a good indicator of how much time has passed in between these two frames. And this is useful for making precise calculations based on the performance of the last frame. So if we were to thing being passed in. Okay, but now going back into our heartbeat function, there is this parameter called delta time. And you might ask, what is this thing being passed into the function? Delta time basically tells us how much time has elapsed from the current time versus the time that it took to start the last frame. So if we were to go back into our script, so basically, whenever this frame fires, it's going to detect how much time has passed from when this frame started versus when this frame started. And so this basically gives us a good indicator of how much time has passed in between these two frames. Delta time basically tells us how much time has elapsed from the current time versus the time that it took to start the last frame. So if we were to go back into our script, so basically, whenever this frame fires, it's going to detect how much time has passed from when this frame started versus when this frame started, which is a fixed number, time, and we can set this equal to the rotate indicator of how much time has passed in between these two frames. And this is useful for making precise calculations based on the performance of the player's device. And a really good example I can think of this is if I had, let's say, a part here that rotated based on the player's device performance. So if we were to, let's say, smoothly rotate this part, like let's just imagine this part was smoothly rotating, it's going to either move slowly or fast depending on the player's performance. And this is very useful for optimizing the player's experience depending on their device's performance. So that's a really good example I can think of, but we can incorporate this inside of our script as well, and I'm going to show you how we can do this. So instead of having a fixed vector3 value with -1 each time the position is being changed, what we can do instead is create a local variable called distance, and we can set this equal to delta time, and then we can have like a multiplier here just by, I don't know, saying like 10 in this case, and then we can replace the -1 here, which is a fixed number, to distance. And I'm also going to make this multiply by -10 so that it goes in the negative direction. Okay, so now that we have this, let's go into the game and hit run and see what happens. So now that we have this, the part is moving slower than it should be. Oh, well, it's actually like in the way of these frames, my bad. So let me actually just move all of these really quick and then hit run again. So now what we should see is this part is constantly going to be moving in this direction until it just stops after like 5 seconds, because it's now dependent on the player's performance. If the player was having a slower device, then this part would have moved even slower than it should have, versus a faster device, then this part would be moving faster because of it. And if we want to just quickly measure like what the delta time actually is, we can just print this out in the output so that we can see how much time is being elapsed before the other frame. So as you can see, it's a very small number if we decide to use heartbeat over anything else. So those are a few optimization tips that I have for heartbeat, and also the explanation of using delta time. I hope this part has made sense to you so far up until this point. Okay, so the next event is stepped, and this comes in before the physics simulation. And so the main difference between stepped and heartbeat is that stepped is executed before all of the physics in the game is being executed, while heartbeat is executed after all of the physics simulations have been made. So this tells us that if we want to use stepped, this would primarily be used if we want to do something related to physics before executing the actual physics simulation of our 3D world. So in this case, if we wanted to make changes to, like, let's say a C-frame of a part, or if we wanted to move the velocity or just like other things like that, we would use stepped over heartbeat. And another added bonus to stepped is that this executes before heartbeat. So this executes more frequently than heartbeat at a faster rate. So this one works even faster than heartbeat.
Má, nó nói chưa về lần nào đâu con này.
Cái gì vậy?
Cái này on
in a basic sense. So let's do it.
Okay, thôi.
Oh, well, apparently my family said that they have gotten a dragon.
Do a side-by-side comparison with another
my
part
ancestors.
in relation
Apparently
to
my
heartbeat
ancestors
part.
have
So I'm going to
found a
duplicate
dragon
this
bone.
heartbeat part.
Your
and move it over here.
ancestors?
I'm also going
Yes.
Yep.
to
Hey, Wolf.
change the colors of these so
Hey,
that
how
we can
are you
differentiate between
doing?
these.
It's going well.
just
It's
like
going
this.
well. What about you, sir?
And I'm going to call
Great.
this
My king, anytime,
stepped
anywhere, any
part.
place.
So now what we're going to do is go back into our script. We're going to just simply... Okay, so the next event is stepped, and this comes in before the physics simulation. And so the main difference between stepped and heartbeat is that stepped is executed before all of the physics in the game is being executed, while heartbeat is executed after all of the physics simulations have been made. So this tells us that if we want to use stepped, this would primarily be used if we want to do something related to physics before executing the actual physics simulation of our 3D world. So in this case, if we wanted to make changes to, like, let's say a C-frame of a part, or if we wanted to move the velocity or just like other things like that, we would use stepped over heartbeat. And another added bonus to stepped is that this executes before heartbeat. So this executes more frequently than heartbeat at a faster rate. So this one works even faster than heartbeat in a basic sense. So let's do a side-by-side comparison with another part in relation to heartbeat part. So I'm going to duplicate this heartbeat part and move it over here. I'm also going to change the colors of these so that we can differentiate between the two, just like this. And I'm going to call this stepped part. So now what we're going to do is go back into our script. We're going to just simply copy this code right here and then paste it down here. We're going to call this connection connection 2, and then we're going to disconnect connection 2 after 5 seconds, just like we did with the first connection, just like this. And then instead of heartbeat, we're going to replace this with stepped. Now, what's interesting about stepped is that this function gives 2 arguments. So not only does it give the delta time, but it also gives the time. I'm just going to call this duration time because time is a reserved keyword based on Roblox's standards. So this time basically tells us that this is how much time has elapsed ever since the game started. But this is how much time has elapsed ever since the last frame was executed. So there is a difference between the two, and you need to make sure
You looking for girls?
No.
Your boys, a parent.
Um, it took that long. Like I don't feel like playing Valorant anymore again.
Okay.
Is that Bus?
Somebody give me 4 times.
Hey.
Bus, is there a way? Wait, Bus, is you want me in the studio?
Okay. In the world we in. Okay.
Oh, Bus. Bus, I
Okay.
feel like you can. You see this wall, right, Bus? I feel like you can model it and then duplicate it.
What wall is
Instead
that
of-
about?
This wall right here.
Why are you making the cave pink, bro?
Bus, I haven't changed it yet.
Oh, okay.
I'm changing-
What wall?
This wall right here. This castle wall.
Okay, guys, are we ready?
okay.
It's on here, bro. I feel like I've been waiting for so long.
You know,
I
I
feel like
know.
you can model it, right, Bus? And then you can just duplicate it. I mean, you can do the arch, and then it's a golden, right? So like.
Yeah. I mean,
guys, start. Start.
Tuan is not here.
Oh my god.
He said y'all took too long.
Lame.
About to go see, back.
For real, bro. Y'all took like a whole hour to eat.
Alright. I'm gonna go cold. I got 2 viewers right now. Hold on. Hello guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. I was about to play Valorant, but the teammate left, so I'm gonna go back to coding.
Didn't you leave first? Out of the 5 people that was in the lobby, didn't you
Bro,
leave first?
You said you wasn't gonna play, bro, honey.
But you said we left, and that's false. You're lying to your viewers. It says no. I saw no signal left the lobby first.
Bro, you made one of my viewers left, bro. There's only 1 left now. I have
That
23
one viewer
total.
is me.
It's
That one
you?
viewer is me.
Oh.
It's me.
I have 23 total view for this live stream.
That you do know when to use either one of these things. Now,
Yo,
generally,
you
don't
are
really
Nathan
need-
Reed?
Yes. No, he said DM him for a chance to win something. So I DM him. Yo, boss, do you want to be like this dude, Brandon?
What?
You want to be like the boss?
Why?
Like his life? Look, he got everything. He's like a very, very like, successful.
Bro, who the fuck doesn't, bro?
Yeah, who the fuck does?
Do you know him in real life?
No, I don't. I do not know him in real life. Look, must follow him.
Oh, it's
I'm
the
a-
Boss Studio?
Yeah.
Yeah, the boss studio.
No.
Yeah,
Like, the
everything.
boy, the boy is handsome. The boy got a hot ass girlfriend. He got hella money. He got everything.
I mean,
That could be you, Qual, but you're not hot.
He's my age. That dude is my age.
For real.
Bubba
He's 21.
That's crazy.
The boss, Brandon, age. He is. I don't know how old he is.
He's 19. 19. That's I remember.
2020.
No, he's
20.
20. He's 20. He's a millionaire, multi-millionaire.
Wait, did they not leash anymore, Qual?
No, you don't. No, jungle. You don't get leashed no more jungle.
Listen, you're like 2 years behind on that.
What the fuck?
You're at least 2 years behind on that.
Is it because I have this little pet right here?
Yes.
Alright, Chad. I'll see you in another timeline.
I'm big bad.
Who the fuck is this?
Time, but I would still say delta time is pretty important. I'm also going to make reference to the stepped part. So I'm going to copy this, paste it like this, and then say stepped part, wait for child, part. I'm going to copy this, and I'm going to find every instance of heartbeat part and replace it with stepped part instead, just like this. Okay, so now that we have this taken care of, let's go and do a race. We're going to do a test comparison of how much time will elapse with this happening. Okay, so as you can see, heartbeat is running faster, but what does this tell us? I thought stepped was supposed to be faster. The reason this is happening is because stepped executes a lot faster than heartbeat does. And whenever we are recording the distance, we are using the delta time from the current frame to the last frame. And so the distance is going to generally be smaller than heartbeat, but we're going to be executing this position change more frequently than this one. So as a result, heartbeat executes less, but it has a bigger distance. But stepped has more execution, but has a smaller distance each time we execute it, which is really interesting. So in essence, when it comes to knowing which one is faster, there's a lot of variables that tie into it, and there's a lot of definitions when it comes to which one is quote-unquote faster. So that's why you need to understand this from the perspective of the hierarchy. Of like, do you need to make calculations before the physics is actually running, or do you need to make calculations after the physics is running? I would say this is what's more important when you're trying to decide which one of the two you need to use. Of heartbeat part and replace it with stepped part instead, just like this. Okay, so now that we have this taken care of, let's go and do a race. We're gonna do a test comparison of how much time will elapse with this happening. Okay, so as you can see, heartbeat is running faster, but what does this tell us? I thought stepped was supposed to be faster. The reason this is happening is because stepped executes a lot faster than heartbeat does. And whenever we are recording the distance, we are using the delta time from the current frame to the last frame. And so the distance is going to generally be smaller than heartbeat, but we're going to be executing this position change more frequently than this one. So as a result, heartbeat executes less, but it has a bigger distance. But stepped has more execution, but has a smaller distance each time we execute it, which is really interesting. So in essence, when it comes to knowing which one is faster, there's a lot of variables that tie into it, and there's a lot of definitions when it comes to which one is quote-unquote faster. So that's why you need to understand this from the perspective of the hierarchy. Of like, do you need to make calculations before the physics is actually running, or do you need to make calculations after the physics is running? I would say this is what's more important when you're trying to decide which one of the two you need to use. But if worse comes to worse, if you don't know which one to use, just use heartbeat. Like, there's nothing wrong with using heartbeat. This is going to be, but stepped has more execution, but has a smaller distance each time we execute it, which is really interesting. So in essence, when it comes to knowing which one is faster, there's a lot of variables that tie into it, and there's a lot of definitions when it comes to which one is quote-unquote faster. So that's why you need to understand this from the perspective of the hierarchy. Of like, do you need to make calculations before the physics is actually running, or do you need to make calculations after the physics is running? I would say this is what's more important when you're trying to decide which one of the two you need to use. But if worse comes to worse, if you don't know which one to use, just use heartbeat. Like, there's nothing wrong with using heartbeat. This is going to be basically for more specific cases if you do need to use them. So that is hopefully an analogy that helps you understand the difference between stepped and heartbeat if you decide. to use either one of these in the future. So we finally reached the last event on this hierarchy called Render Stepped. And as you can see,
Bus, I'm dying. Dying.
Yo, I saw you do with the wall. Nice toy. Oh shit, what the fuck happened to the wall?
I undo it because it's not perfect. Not perfect.
Oh, you need to do. Let me just do it for you, toy.
It's not perfect, bus.
I got it. Don't worry. I got it, bro. Never mind, I don't got it. It doesn't have to be perfect, bro.
It has to be perfect.
You can't use Archimedes. My Archimedes is glitch. I don't know what to do. Alright, never mind.
Yeah, I can't undo it and go back to the way the old world was, and then you can just delete the other ones.
I mean, just keep it for now. We'll just fix it later. Right now, I need to look at the water fountains.
Let's see, I think I got it. The sides are perfect, but it's like weird.
I guess.
Wait, bless. I think I got it. Yeah, that's it.
Okay. Okay.
I got it, bro. Real quick.
New citizen. Century Plus. Fantasy. But mouse is broken. It's so hard. Alright.
Well, I'm destroying the pill too.
Alright,
What's up?
okay, so right here I'm gonna add some part that represent the market. Okay, I didn't design the market yet, but I just put it so it represent the market right here, some of it like that. Definitely some market here. Yep. Alright, perfect.
I honestly think this is fun.
Toy doesn't have to be perfect for now. Now today I don't even go outside. Pills after pills, shield after shield, down after wind, down after thrill. I wonder if you feel the way I feel. I wonder if you feel the way I feel. I wonder if you feel the way I feel. Maybe you don't, but still. Maybe you won't, I will.
Why is it cricket?
I wonder if you feel the way I feel. This fucking mouse is so broken, man. Jesus.
What is going on?
So when things go bad, don't be in doubt. Ask for help, 641. Fuck.
Not opening. If you've been doubted by,
You've been hit by. You've been hit by. Smooth criminal. Dun, 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 dun. Smooth criminal. I tried to tell you, but you don't seem to understand the verdict. That you've been through.
You know what's cool about knowing how to code? You can build whatever you want. But the problem for a lot of people is they don't know what to build. I have this problem all the time. I want to program something, but I don't know what. I get that random 3 a.m. motivation where I'm ready to program, but then I just stare at my computer screen and then Google programming project, and then I'm looking at page after page trying to find out what to make, and then I end up on YouTube where I watch top 10 programming projects.
Get a job now.
By the time I think of something, I don't want to code anymore. My motivation's gone and I'm back to watching brain rot content. This kept happening to me until I found this GitHub repo about a year ago, and I wish I knew about it earlier. Build your own X. X as in the letter X, not EX. That'd be a little weird. But with today's AI, you could do that too.
Oh, I can see why.
It's an amazing GitHub repository. It says right here that it's a compilation of well-written, step-by-step guides for recreating our favorite technologies from scratch. Check out how cool some of these projects are. You have a 3D renderer, augmented reality, games, crypto and blockchain so you can make your own disgusting meme coins. And look, you can even make your own terrible JavaScript framework.
Wait. Those projects seem hard, Sloth. I only know how to do a for loop from my JavaScript.
Sorry about that. To me, that sounded like skill issues. No, but seriously though, a lot of you that watch my terrible videos are in fact beginners. So I thought, hey, why don't I create my own programming project video? Totally original. Which is why today, I'm here to share Sloth top 20 programming projects. Yeah, I'm gonna list out project ideas that go from beginner, intermediate, advanced, and then 10x developer. I already shared 5 projects on Slothbytes and gave some reasons. Oh, you don't know what Slothbytes is? Slothbytes is a weekly newsletter where I share bite-sized programming information to make you a better programmer. For free! Except for your email. But don't worry about that. And it currently has over 900 subscribers. My goal is to make Slothbytes one of the top newsletters for programming, so cough up that email and subscribe right now. Okay, let's let's start off with number 1, a portfolio. Yeah, we're starting really basic, but stay with me now. A portfolio is one of the easiest projects you can do. It's just a place that shows off your work and experience, which means if you're a total beginner, you get to do absolutely nothing because you don't have work experience. You lose. All you really need is HTML and CSS, and those aren't even programming languages. But if you want to get fancy, you can use JavaScript. I'm gonna rate the portfolio a 1 out of 10 for difficulty, a 0 out of 10 for resume worthy, because bro, this is basically your resume. I'll give it a 2 out of 10 for learning value because you'll learn the basics of HTML and CSS. And then I'll give it a 3 out of 10 for coolness. It depends on how good you are at styling.
Hey guys, and welcome. Luscious. But we got our order it goes in. Bottom. Wait. Why? Hello. Why can I scale it all the way down with 0.5 studs? Alright, it's whatever. So Exodus, you're making water over there too?
Yeah, I'm just gonna build some kind of design.
Okay, so guys, while Exodus is working on that, or here bro, go like...
You fixed it? Alright, that's good. It looks good.
I just gotta make the map bigger. Scale, you know.
Like way over here so they can't see you while I'm doing this part. That'll be dope. And then we'll go to it at the end. Alright, so we get the same example. And this is the order it goes in. Transparency 2.5. Perfect. And I forgot this one. I'm gonna just copy and bottom. This is like the bottom of the water, and this is the top of the water. So here's how it works. This one, I'm gonna just copy the colors so we get the same example. Boom. Paste. It in right here.
45, 90, 69, and a 96.
And it is neon for the bottom part. Perfect. And I forgot the transparency. It is 0.5.
Neon transparency 0.5.
So go ahead and set the transparency 2.5. Nice. Up next, we have black smooth plastic with a 0.7 transparency. So let's do that. Black, perfect.
Black material. 0.7.
You've been hit by a smooth.
7. There we go. Up next, we got our water. Now, this could be any color, guys. This is like your water color, all right? So just make sure it's neon and on 0.5. Let's go ahead. Neon and 0.5 transparency. And we're going to make this a real dark water, guys. Just really like...
Neon.
You wanna wake up early tomorrow, bud?
Every day I wake up early, yes sir.
I'm gonna be waking up at like 5 o'clock, bro.
Oh, well,
Diabolical. I'll be having a good night. A smooth.
Luscious, okay? Now there's this free pack. If you don't have this, it is in my Discord server. It's made by Dev for Hire, and we can go ahead and take the water texture from this. Really nice. He's also a really nice guy. So go follow him on Twitter as well. And then just paste that. Hey guys, and welcome back.
What time is it?
Hmm?
It's 9.
Are you going to sleep?
No, I don't sleep at 9.
At 10?
Yeah, I sleep at 10 or 11.
Oh, I'll be sleeping at fucking 2, bro. Sometimes I just need some music. Motive. I'm just doing the dots.
Texture. See what we got here. Water. Copy.
So I might have to move this up a little bit.
What up? Oh, the ground?
No, the water fountain. You might have to move it up.
Up? It's already at the bottom.
Oh, like you see this white thing?
Oh,
What's
yeah,
it?
yeah, yeah. I see, I see, I see.
Yeah, you gotta move it up.
Damn, to what are you listening to?
Oh. You got everything.
Is it what?
I'm taking it out. Pick weight. I'm gonna tap slow right now.
Are you big?
They'll wait. I'm gonna pop my shoe and then I'll come back.
You gonna what?
just gonna pop my true mode on somebody. No, I'm
Uh,
just game mode. No. I can just do it. Being down, bus. I'm being down, bus. I'm getting shit on.
no way.
I'm being up a team. Hey, bus. What's you, bus?
What?
What's you?
Is that? Let me finish this video.
This is all the way up here in the hierarchy as being part of the rendering stage of this task scheduling list. So when we use RenderStepped, you can run stuff very fast with this thing, like at a very, very frequent rate. But there's a few things that we need to keep in mind about RenderStepped. So the first thing that's really interesting is that we can only use RenderStepped on the local side. We can't use this on the server side like we've been doing with Heartbeat and Stepped. This can only be done by the local player. So that is one very important distinction to know about when it comes to using RenderStepped, is we can only use it on the local side. And so with that being said, I'm going to show you a demonstration of using RenderStepped using GUIs rather than using parts to move them around using physics and all that sort of stuff. So what I'm going to do is go to Starter GUI, hit the plus sign, create a screen GUI. I'm also going to create a text label like this, task scheduling parts, to move them around using physics and all that sort of stuff. So what I'm going to do is go to Starter GUI, hit the plus sign, create a screen GUI. I'm also going to create a text label like this so that we can see it on our screen. And then I'm just going to align it like right here, like so. And then I'm going to insert a local script inside of the text label. So the first thing I'm going to do is make reference to the text label equals script.parent. And I'm also going to take the run service declaration, paste that into here. And then I'm also going to take this task.wait statement and also this connection disconnect statement right here. Okay, so now what we're going to do is right before the task.wait statement, we're going to make a variable called local connection equals run service dot render stepped connect function open and close parentheses enter. Now this one only takes in one argument, which is going to be the delta time, which is very similar to our Heartbeat connection rather than our stepped connection, which has two parameters in there. So now I'm just going to simply calculate a distance, I guess. We could just say local distance equals delta time times 100, like this. And so what do we want to do with this distance? Well, what we can do, we can basically rotate this part clockwise based on the player's performance so that we know that RenderStepped is working as expected. So first thing we can do is probably just make a print statement here by saying render stepped like this so that we actually know how many times this is being run. And then what we can do is say text label dot rotation equals text label dot rotation plus distance like this. All right, so in order to test this, we're gonna have to go into the game, hit test, and then we have to hit play so that our actual character is gonna be inside of the game. All right, so now that we have this, we can see that it's constantly rotating from where it started to constantly just go clockwise. Being run, and then rotating actual label dot rotation play so that our plus distance like
What?
The fuck?
What is that, bro? Why is it not working? Why is this not working, bro? Delta times 100 plus distance. Oh, wait. It's not a server GUI local script. Label, why is it not working, bro? Oh, why am I so fucking retarded, Toy? Why am I such a fucking
What's wrong?
retard? I was wondering why my script ain't working. I was fucking run instead of play. Oh my god, it's just fucking retarded, bro. I'm so retarded.
Why coolness? Because it.
This. All right, so in order to test this, we're gonna have to go into the game, hit test, and then we have to hit play so that our actual character is gonna be inside of the game. All right, so now that we have this, we can see that it's constantly rotating from where it started to constantly just go clockwise like this until about 10 seconds where we just disconnect the connection just like that. But as you can see, within this 10-second time frame, it ran very, very frequently. Like, I can't even describe how frequently render stepped executed, but it executed very, very frequently. At least I can tell you that. Faster than what stepped could execute, faster than what heartbeat could execute. But once again, this can only be executed on the local side. So there are trade-offs. To using render stepped, but I recommend trying to experiment and figure out which ones work best for you when it comes to knowing which event to use, because render stepped, it's all the way up here in the rendering process. So you can decide for yourself whether this is the right step for you to use in your scripts, or if you just want to use stepped or heartbeat. Like, it honestly doesn't really matter too much of a difference which one you use, but it's still good to understand why there is a difference between these three and how this task scheduling hierarchy works. So I hope this part has made sense to you up until this point. So we've pretty much gotten over the basics of time management when it comes to run service and what it has to offer for executing tasks at specific times during specific occasions that we'd want to execute them. But run service... So first thing we can do is probably just trade-offs to using render stepped, but I recommend trying to experiment and figure out which ones work best in plus distance, like this. All right, so in order to test this, we're gonna have to go into the game, hit test, and then we have to hit play so that our actual character is gonna be inside of the game. All right, so now that we have this, we can see that it's constantly rotating from where it started to constantly just go clockwise like this until about 10 seconds where we just disconnect the connection just like that. But as you can see, within this 10-second time frame, it ran very, very frequently. Like, I can't even describe how frequently render stepped executed, but it executed very, very frequently. At least I can tell you that. Faster than what stepped could execute, faster than what heartbeat could execute. But once again, this can only be executed on the local side. So there are trade-offs to using render stepped, but I recommend trying to experiment and figure out which ones work best for you when it comes to knowing which event to use, because render stepped, it's all the way up here in the rendering process. So you can decide for yourself whether this is the right step for you to use in your scripts, or if you just want to use stepped or heartbeat. Like, it honestly doesn't really matter too much of a difference which one you use, but it's still good to understand why there is a difference between these three and how this task scheduling hierarchy works. So I hope this part has made sense to you up until this point. So we've pretty much gotten over the basics of time management when it comes to run service and what it has to offer for executing tasks at specific times during specific occasions that we'd want to execute them. But run service has something else that we may deem to be useful, and that is knowing the context of scripts being executed. And what I'm trying to get at here is run service has properties to tell us if, let's say, we're playing the game in studio, or if this script is being run on the server, or if this script is being run on the client. We can tell based on the context of where the script is being executed. And if that's the case, then we can perform specific tasks based on specific criteria like that. An example I can think of is if, let's say, I was programming a boss battle, and it has cutscenes and everything like that, then I'd probably just want to skip the cutscenes if I'm playing inside of Roblox Studio, just so that I can test the boss. And that's just one example. There's so many examples you could probably think of if you want to do something specific with your scripts if you're playing in Roblox Studio versus if you're playing in the actual game. And we can do the same thing with knowing if a piece of code in a script is being executed on the server versus if it's being executed on the client. And this is also very useful for module scripts, which I'm going to show you in just a little bit. So for the rest of this video, I'm going to show you these properties that we can use inside of Roblox Studio. So let's go ahead and go straight into that. Alright, so let's start with something easy, which is basically determining if we are playing the game inside of Roblox Studio or not. So here's how it's going to work. I'm going to go on the right side and just very quickly create a new script. I'm going to call this script context like this. And then what we're going to do is first make declaration to run service. I can just go to one of my previous scripts and duplicate that, paste it into here. And then here's all we need to say. We can just say if run service colon is studio, open and close parentheses. Then print player is playing in studio, and then if we don't do that, then we can say player is not playing in studio. So it seems very easy, right? We just go into the game, hit test, hit play, and then on the output, what we should see, okay, well, if we just disabled our previous scripts for a minute, let's go back into the game, and then we should see that player is playing inside of studio because we are indeed playing inside of studio. If you were playing in an actual game, then it's just going to go to the else statement and then go down here by saying player is not playing in studio. And not only do we have checks for if the player's in studio, we can also check if the player is, I don't know, playtesting, or if they're in run mode, all of these different things. We can check for all of these different contexts if we were to have them inside of a script to perform different things based on the script context. So that's one batch of these functions that I'm going to show you here, and it seems to be very self-explanatory. It's pretty easy. Okay, so now I'm going to show you some other ones, like is server and is client. Now, if you've been scripting for a very long time and you've been following this series, I think you know the difference between the server and client is. I don't need to explain those. But we can basically check in a single script if we are playing on the server or if we are playing on the client based on the script's execution and which context we are executing this script from. So kind of like what we had before up here, we could just say if run service colon is server, then we can print that we are on the server. If we say if run service is client, then we can print or just like do whatever's going to be here if we are playing on the client. So both of these are being checked inside of the context of this script inside of server script service. You kind of have to think outside the box a little bit to really understand and think about when this would be useful. Like when would you want to check if this execution is happening on the server or if this is happening on the client. I'm going to show you one example of using this that I find to be pretty helpful. So I'm just going to delete this code that we have over here. And what I'm going to do is create a module script on the right side of replicated storage. So I'm going to do the plus sign. I'm going to create a module script right over here. And basically the point of this module script is I'm going to create a function. And this is going to check if wherever this function was executed from, whether that was from the server or the client, are we going to continue with the execution of this function. So I'm going to show you what this looks like. I'm going to say function module dot, we could just say like my function or something like that, open and close parentheses, enter. So what we're going to do is get reference to our run service. I'm just going to copy this, paste this up here. I'm first going to say if run service colon is client, open and close parentheses, then we're just simply going to return this. And then we're going to make a print statement down here by saying my function has been executed. And you can just like have whatever else is happening down here. So let's try and understand what's happening here. When we run my function, it's first going to check if whatever called this function is on the client, then we're just going to return it. Because let's say a hacker is trying to execute that they see inside of this module script. Well, since they're on the client, if they try to activate this function and it sees that it's being activated from the client, then we're just not going to do anything about it. We're just simply going to return it. But if we are executing this on the server, then we're going to drop down here and then continue off with whatever we were trying to do with our function, just execute it like normal. So now I'm going to show you what this looks like if we were to require this module script and try to execute it. So we're going to drop 2 lines down here and say local module equals require game.replicated storage.module script, like this. And then all we're going to do is just say module.myFunction, open and close parentheses, just like that. So we are running this on the server. So if we go into the game, hit test and hit play, then what we should see in the output is that my function has been executed because we are playing on the perspective of, well, okay, we're playing in the perspective of the player, but we can see down here highlighted in green, that means this was printed on the server. So my function has been executed by the server, as expected. So now let's see what happens if we decide to change is client to is server instead. So that means this can only be executed on the client. So if we go into the output, we can see that player is playing in studio, but we do not see the print statement for my function has been executed because we executed this function on the server. So because we are now seeing if we're trying to be on the client, it's just not going to run. And if we try to do this the other way around too, so I'm basically just going to very quickly.
Did you say something, Toy? Did you say something?
Yes, I
create a local script inside of starter player script. I'm just going to create a local script. I'm going to copy this run service command.
Do we need a pair?
A what?
Do we need a pair? Like the pair for the castle.
Yeah, we need it.
I'm
Alright, Toy.
We'll fix the water. Night.
Night.
Here and these two. Down here, we can see down playing in, because we are now seeing if we're trying to be on the client, it's just not going to run. And if we try to do this the other way around too, so I'm basically just going to very quickly create down here. We can see down create a local script inside of starter player scripts. I'm just going to create a local script. I'm going to copy this run service command here and these two down here. What I'm going to do is just quickly disable my context script inside of server script service, go into the game, hit test and hit play. So what we should see in the output is absolutely nothing, because we are trying to see if we are to very quickly create a local script inside of starter player scripts. I'm just going to create a local script. I'm going to copy this run service command here and these two down here. What I'm going to do is just quickly disable my context script inside of server script service, go into the game, hit test and hit play. So what we should see in the output is absolutely nothing, because we are trying to see if we are executing this on the server. But if we do this the other way around with is server, then what we should see in the output is finally my function has been executed, because we are calling this on the client to very quickly create a local script inside of starter player scripts. I'm just going to create a local script. I'm going to copy this run service command here and these two down here. What I'm going to do is just quickly disable my seeing if we're trying to be on the client. It's just not going to run. And if we try to do this the other way around too, so I'm basically just going to very quickly create a local script inside of starter player in the output is absolutely nothing, because we are trying to see if we are executing this on the server. But if we do this the other way around with is server, then what we should see in the output is finally my function has been executed because we are calling this on the client, and we are seeing in the module script if this is a client or if this is not a server. I mean, if this is a client, then we're going to execute what's going to be down here. You get the idea at this point. You kind of have to think a little bit of how you can incorporate is server or all of these other context functions inside your script. And so that is another really cool and neat thing you can do with run service that other services do not really provide. So I hope you found this part to be informative as well, and it can benefit you for your Roblox development career journey. I hope you found this episode to be informative. This is one of the more complicated concepts in Roblox studio development, so if you've made it this far into the series, then I gotta congratulate you on that, because these concepts, they're still going to continuously become more
gươm á. Tên cái gươm này đi. Alright guys, I'm gonna end my stream here. Hopefully I will be able to